Okay, here we go.
Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60andMe. This is a place where women over 60 come to be inspired and informed, and we have a very important topic to discuss with you today, especially as we're getting back into the travel world. So our video today is sponsored by Identity Defense, a company that offers very powerful and comprehensive identity theft protection services. And joining us is Stephanie Rucheri, who is the head of identity and insurance from ID, and she has 15 years of experience in the identity theft protection world. It's a very big world, and she's got lots of experience. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. It's interesting to talk to you guys and all your viewers and talk about identity theft and how we can protect and educate ourselves.
Well, it's really a big topic, and as I think you probably know if you've watched previous videos on this topic, we're doing this whole series of 4 videos because there are 4 really distinct areas of interest. We did a video on shopping scams and romance scams. We've done one on credit card theft that's aided by technology these days, and today this video we're going to talk about travel and passport theft and what to do if your passport has been stolen. And Stephanie, I know you've got a lot of really cool data and information on this topic. So let's just jump in with, why is it the theft of your passport so dangerous?
If you think about it, your passport has got a wealth of information. It's rich with personal information like your name and address, but also has your birth date and as well as a photo identification. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for a bad actor to get all the information they need to commit identity theft or to gain access to public record information where they can fill out the pieces of information that they may be missing. And what we've seen, you mentioned, as we return to travel, we've seen a new trend cropping up with passport theft related to the issuance of new or renewed passports.
Yeah.
As the pandemic started to ease and people began traveling more and more in the summer of 2021, the State Department became flooded with passport applications, and it was really becoming overwhelmed. And they were seeing wait times of 12 to 18 weeks, even just for the issuance of a new passport. And that was ripe territory for bad actors and scammers. So they took advantage of that situation. And we saw a rise in this scam, it's called the passport scam, where bad actors would reach out to desperate travelers with the offer of a false offer of being able to expedite the passport processing and get a passport more quickly. That has been something that we've really seen on the rise since 2021 with passport theft.
And you can see how desperate someone might have if they've spent a lot of money on a holiday and they didn't check their expiry date on their passport till a week before. And it's just so sad that that's happening on top of everything else that we've been through the last couple of years.
You finally peek out and then you have to beware.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, so that's really, really important to understand. But what other things can they do with your passport?
Sure. So a passport. So there's a couple things. I'm going to talk about it in the sense of someone offering to create a passport for you. Okay. If you think about that aspect of it, and you were to respond to one of these bad actors' offers, think about the things that you have to submit in order to get a passport.
Exactly.
It's highly personal information. You need your social security number for sure, your proof of citizenship, and sometimes even your birth certificate. So they have everything they need to be able to commit that identity theft or access accounts. They can use that information to take out loans. They can drain your bank account. They can steal your tax refund. And they can even use your health insurance with that information. So responding to one of these false offers to be able to get your credit card in an expedited fashion can be very risky. I would recommend that people just stick with the State Department and plan ahead. Then we also need to talk about not just applying for a passport, but what if the passport that you have it becomes stolen or becomes forged? Okay. So it's not just the risk with the application process. Like I said earlier, your actual passport is a wealth of information. And often what happens is fraudsters can use that passport to create a counterfeit passport. So they take the information that's on your passport and they combine it with their photo. So it looks like they are that person. And then they can use that, just like your driver's license or your birth certificate, to go into a bank and transfer money or to open a new account in a bank because they look like the person that's on that.
Exactly. They put the picture. And I read somewhere in your questions and answers that we discussed that they can actually change the ownership of your house.
Yes, they can do a lot of things. I mean, think about what you would use your passport for. It's kind of one of the cardinal pieces of identification that is used to prove who you are.
So, okay, so let's talk about travel, because I mean, a lot of women in our 16Me community love to travel. It's one of the things that we do when we're 60. It's like we get to travel again. But and most of them, I mean, I must be, to be fair, they're very careful. You know, we have the cross-body bags. We do the things that, you know, where you can't scan a card, you know, whatever those are called. But you know what I'm talking about. We're careful. But I just got a Facebook post the other day from a really good friend of mine who's a big traveler. She's a world traveler. She said, arrived in Rome. 2 hours later, I've lost my passport. My passport was stolen. She's been like around the world 3 times, and she's like an expert. But they did it. They got it. I mean, and if you're having coffee at a coffee shop, your bag is on the back of the chair. You're talking to the person in front of you. It's gone.
It's happened to me. I've had my passport stolen.
Really?
It's
yeah.
scary.
I had my wallet stolen in Milan when I was at the Duomo with the church, and I was looking up at the Duomo, and you know, I had a backpack, and in the back, he would have taken, or she, I don't know who it was, would have taken my passport if it had been in that back pocket. But fortunately, it was only my wallet and only one credit card, and I quickly, you know, realized. But yeah, you had it happen to you though, your passport.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you did one of the first things. Keep it separate, right? Don't keep all of your stuff in one place when you travel. That's kind of a cardinal, you know, traveling one-on-one. So you were doing the right thing. A couple other things I always recommend people do with their passport is you should always copy the data page of your passport. And what I do when I travel is I take a copy with me and I keep it in a separate place.
In your shoe.
One of my luggage, one of my travel bag, and you know, I keep a couple copies in different places in case I need proof of who I am with an embassy or somewhere. But I also take a copy and I pin it on my refrigerator at home.
Yeah.
So that if I'm traveling somewhere and for some reason everything gets stolen, or I don't have a copy, or I need to call home, I can call home and someone can send me a copy of it. Those are a few things that I do when I travel to try to help protect myself and be prepared if something ever happens.
No, I think that's really, really good advice. I do that always. I'm with my whole itinerary. I do that when I travel, but I definitely,
me too.
I definitely give a copy and to one of my, you know, kids, and I actually tell them, you know, just keep hold. And I do actually copy other things too. So I think keeping a copy of documents, like my visa, you know, because I live in Switzerland and I have a special visa for that. So just any document that's, you know, that's going to possibly lost.
Good practice.
So, yeah, for sure. So we mentioned the dark web in another video, but it applies, I think, to passports as well, because this is the place where criminals can negotiate the theft. They can sell your stuff on. Tell me about that.
The dark web, we talked about it in another video, but I'll just repeat it here because I think it's worth repeating. You know, when you think about the dark web, it sounds underground and hidden and secretive, and it is. So the dark web is a website, or it is a web network, and it's a web network that houses hidden sites that change. So they're not always the same sites, and you can only access those sites with special tools or authorization. So you kind of have to be in the criminal loop and the criminal network to be able to know how to access these dark web sites. And you know, there's tons of governmental agencies that are constantly monitoring these dark websites because they move, right? So they don't always stay in the same place, and they use encryption software so that the criminals that have access to them, or the folk, not everybody's a criminal, but most of the time you wouldn't be on here unless you're a criminal. But
spy from identity defense need a little spy to go into the dark web, and maybe you know about
go in there, and it's very espionage. Just like there's spies that go in and transact, and that's how we catch a lot of these criminal traders. But anyway, there's encryption software there, and it allows them to remain anonymous and allows them to hide their location so that they can transact, whether it's selling credit card data or personal data, or whether it's selling, you know, guns or drugs. It's all like, it can all happen on the dark web. But typically with identity theft, they sell pieces of your personal information. So they can take that data page and sell just that data page, and then they sell it over and over and over again. Or what they can do is they can create a new passport, like I said earlier, combining different pieces of information and creating kind of a synthetic identity that can then be used to open credit with open accounts and create credit with components of your identity.
Right. So what do you do if your passport's stolen?
What you should do if your passport is stolen is, first of all, you should contact the State Department. That's the first thing, and request a new passport. I also recommend that people notify their banking institution right away. Often I suggest that people notify their banking institution if they are going to be traveling abroad before they travel abroad, so that their banking institution will be aware that there might be transactions that are unusual. But if your passport is stolen, you should contact them right away. And if you have an identity theft protection service like our service, Identity Defense, then I would make a call right away to our specially trained identity theft specialist who can help you walk you through the recovery and all the steps you need to take to help protect yourself from being from that stolen passport leading to even more issues.
Yeah. And by the way, people that are in other parts of the world, we're a global community at 60andMe. So when Stephanie says to contact the State Department, she means if you're in the United States. But if you're in any other country, of course, you know, your own embassy or just your own government officials, so that you can actually let them know. But just in case, and, I mean, it's so prevalent, though. It's so worrying. But I think that we want to travel, we want to have fun, get out there in the world. But we've just got now a whole new strata, and so the monitoring services that Identity Defense offers, I mean, passports is just one aspect of what the monitoring service covers. Can you maybe, just for people's information, tell us a bit more about what the whole package is and what the scope of what you offer?
Sure. So Identity Defense is the whole service is structured around 3 pillars of defense. The first is we monitor. So with your permission, we monitor various accounts. We could monitor bank accounts, credit cards accounts, even your credit file at the credit bureau, all kinds of different activities related to those types of accounts, including your passport, including your email. We do it on social medias, through banking institutions, through public records. We look for all kinds of things that may or may not indicate that something suspicious is going on. And if we see something that's suspicious, the second pillar of our defense is alerting. We alert you in real time to let you know that things are happening that you should be paying attention to. And you can either decide whether you've authorized it or you didn't authorize it. Then the third pillar of defense is recovery. If something does happen by any chance, unfortunately, things do occur. We have a whole team of identity theft specialists that can help you recover your losses and help walk you through the situation.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, it sounds to me like you've got things covered there, which is what you would expect. And if you're interested in identity defense at all, there's going to be a link to a special page for 60andMe that will appear underneath this video in the description box. You just press the See More tab there underneath the video. It'll come up and the link will be there. But if you've got any questions just in response to this video, leave them in the section below. If you've had your passport stolen and you had some experience that others might learn from, Stephanie and I will be checking the comments under the video and happy to help address at a high level anything that we can. So so thank you so much, Stephanie. Is there anything else that I needed to cover here that we've missed?
I think we got it.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you again for being with us today. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all again soon. Take good care.
Thank you.